Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into something that's been keeping me up at night. Forget Mars, the next major conflict might be brewing at the bottom of our planet. Antarctica, a frozen desert larger than Europe. Seems like the last place anyone would fight over, right? Wrong. While we're distracted by the usual global hotspots, major powers have been quietly positioning themselves on this giant ice cube. And trust me, they're not just there for penguin selfies. What if beneath all that ice lies trillions in resources? What if the scramble for Antarctica becomes the next global flashpoint? I'm not some conspiracy theorist in my basement. The signs are there. China building massive stations, Russia reactivating Soviet bases, the US upgrading research facilities. In this video, we're exploring what happens if the gloves come off in Antarctica. Who wants what, who has the advantage, and who ultimately controls the last continent. Before diving into war games, let's get real about Antarctica now. It's the only continent without a single country in charge. Instead, it's governed by the Antarctic Treaty from 1959, basically saying, let's do peaceful science only. No military, no mining, no nuclear testing. Today, about 70 research stations operated by 29 countries dot the continent. The US has McMurdo Station, Russia has Vostok, and China's building bases faster than anyone else. Time for some real talk. Despite this peace and science story, 7 countries still claim Antarctic territory. And check this out, some claims actually overlap. Nothing screams future conflict like overlapping territorial claims. Who lives there? Nobody permanently, just scientists, support staff, and rich tourists in summer. In winter, the population drops to about 1,000 brave souls. Why build stations in a place where winds hit 200 miles per hour and temps drop to minus 80 degrees? Officially, it's science. Unofficially, it's about staking claims for the future. The treaty's up for review in 2048, and all bets are off after that. So what's under all that ice that has global powers playing the long game? Let's break it down. Minerals. Massive deposits of coal, iron, gold, platinum, uranium. We're talking potentially trillions of dollars worth. Then there's fossil fuels, possibly 200 billion barrels of oil. That's Kuwait and Iraq combined. Plus natural gas that could power nations for decades. Here's the kicker. Nobody really knows exactly what's down there. The ice makes detailed exploration nearly impossible. It's like trying to figure out what's in a gift box by just looking at the wrapping. Don't forget the Southern Ocean's marine life and Antarctica's fresh water. 70% of Earth's supply locked in ice. As water becomes scarce globally, that's looking pretty valuable. And the strategic military value? Having bases at the bottom of the world gives you angles of approach that are hard to defend against. Perfect for certain types of monitoring equipment too. Time to meet our contenders in this Cold War that could turn hot. Each brings something different to the table, and honestly, none of them should be underestimated. China, the new kid on the Antarctic block playing the long game. 5 research stations built since 2000 with more planned. Their newest, Taishan, looks suspiciously oversized for research. Their motivation? 1.4 billion people to feed in a resource-hungry economy. Weaknesses include limited polar experience and long supply lines, but they're building icebreakers faster than anyone. Russia, the original polar power. Cold weather military expertise and the world's largest icebreaker fleet. Their economy runs on resources, and Putin loves restoring Russian greatness. America, global superpower with McMurdo Station and unmatched naval power. Their trump card, controlling the oceans around Antarctica. Their weakness, political will to fight there. Don't forget the current claimants, especially Australia with its massive 42% claim. These countries lack military muscle but have geography and legal claims on their side. The wild card? Alliances. This wouldn't be one-on-one but coalition warfare that could reshape global politics. We've got greedy powers, we've got buried treasure, but how does this whole mess actually kick off? Here's my take on what could light the fuse on this powder keg at the bottom of the world. Scenario 1, treaty breakdown. The Antarctic Treaty faces review in 2048. Imagine China or Russia simply walking away saying, "We're done playing nice." Scenario 2, resource grab. Someone starts research drilling that mysteriously turns into mining. Others object, sanctions fly, but the offending country keeps going. Scenario 3. Climate opportunism. As ice melts, previously inaccessible areas open up. Countries rush in with scientific equipment that looks suspiciously industrial. The first shots wouldn't be in Antarctica itself, more likely confrontations between ships in the Southern Ocean. One miscalculation in those treacherous waters, and boom, we've got ourselves a war. If things go south, literally and figuratively, what would fighting in Antarctica even look like? I've been obsessing over this question, and let me tell you, it gets weird. Before we get into who'd shoot who, can we talk about the real killer here? Antarctica itself. This continent doesn't care about your fancy weapons or strategy. More soldiers would die from exposure than enemy fire. You can't exactly march an army across the Southern Ocean. America's Navy dominates, but Russia's icebreakers could be game changers in frozen waters. Ground combat, small special forces teams, not massive troop movements. Their targets, research stations and strategic points. Don't forget digital warfare. Knock out a station's power in winter, and you've killed everyone inside without firing a shot. The real winner? Whoever keeps their supply lines open longest. Antarctica devours resources faster than any battlefield in history. When the dust, or should I say snow, settles, someone's gonna come out on top. Let's see who's got the best shot at ruling the bottom of the world. Realistically, America and friends probably edge out a win. Naval superiority matters most when fighting over a continent only accessible by sea, but it wouldn't be total victory. We'd likely see Antarctica carved up into spheres of influence, Western powers controlling the majority, with China and Russia securing their own footholds. The real loser? Antarctica itself. Oil spills, debris, military waste. The pristine continent would be scarred for centuries. Here's the wild card: public opinion. Imagine the global outrage as pristine ice fields become battlegrounds. The pressure to negotiate could end the conflict before any decisive victory. The ultimate winner might be the country that develops the best tech for operating in extreme conditions: robots, materials, energy solutions. Gaining advantages no battleship can match. Is an Antarctic war likely? Probably not tomorrow. The extreme conditions are a powerful deterrent to hot conflict. What we're seeing instead is a slow-motion competition, positioning for advantage through research stations, icebreakers, and resource mapping. Look, war scenarios make for exciting videos, but Antarctica could represent something better. A place where cooperation trumps conflict, where we recognize some places are worth more pristine than exploited. What do you think? Is Antarctica destined to become a battleground? Or will cooler heads prevail in the coldest place on Earth? Let me know below. If you enjoyed this hypothetical dive, hit subscribe and tell me what geopolitical scenarios to explore next. Until then, stay warm out there.